Hi there, you're listening to More Than Potential. I'm your host, Faith. So I want to talk about a very tricky subject. It's going to cause a lot of controversy. I want to talk about Black women's hair and our relationship to it. And I know this is a very delicate subject because I feel as though Black women's hair has always been a subject of scrutiny and critique. But I think that in an effort to move forward, we have to address the things that happened in the past, but also our actions in the present. So before I even start, how did this come up? So long story short, when I was on TikTok before I took a hiatus, I saw this trend where it was like a bunch of women taking their hair down out of ponytails or buns. And the song was like, let your hair down, ole, ole. You know what I'm saying? That was the trend. It was like, let your hair down. And so these women were taking down their hair. One specific woman was I think she was Indian or something. Yeah, either way, she had really long hair. And it was beautiful and silky and shiny. It just cascaded down her shoulders. It was all the way down her back. It got millions of views. So many people were complimenting her on her hair and saying it was beautiful. But things got weird because it was Black women in the comment section saying this is the kind of hair that we want to purchase, not white women's hair. I also saw some Black women in the comments saying too that they liked her hair and that they wanted to purchase it and just making jokes like that. Now listen. Yes, she's a beautiful woman, beautiful hair. This is not about her. I think as Black women, we need to have a talk about the way that we conduct ourselves and the things that we say out of insecurity that make us look hateful and spiteful and jealous. So, for example, there's no reason to bring up white women in that context. Why are white women even being brought up? I don't know. That comes across as a little bit hateful, too. I also think all you had to do was give a compliment and move on. When you start comparing your own hair to her hair, because her hair is long and silky and cascades down her shoulders, and y'all, beautiful head of hair she had, beautiful hair. We start to look really insecure and it makes us look really bad. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else can just give a compliment and move on. We had to make it weird. And when I had a conversation with my friends about this, because I just wanted to understand what the mindset of people is around this issue, there was such a defensiveness to sit down and admit that some of the things that we do out of insecurity. When you ask the average Black woman why she wears the wigs that she wears, they'll give you some answer about a protective style. And I'm like, well, if it's a protective style, then we should be protecting our hair maybe with something that looks a little closer to our own hair. But typically, that's not happening. We will wear the silkiest of hair that looks like Indian Remy or whatever. And we refuse to admit to ourselves that that is a conflict of interest. It doesn't make sense for us to tell the world that we love ourselves and that every other race is jealous of us, but we don't even want our own features. We don't even want our own hair. And when you say this, it's oh my goodness. As soon as you say this, people get so defensive. And it's guys, we got to be honest with ourselves. You're not protecting your hair with hair that looks like Afro-Brazilian hair at the least. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, obviously, white people do not own the concept of straight hair. But once again, there is a difference between Black hair when it's straightened versus white hair when it's straightened. When I see Black celebrities like Megan Thee Stallion and Jackie Aina and Black women that everybody thinks are pretty and have really nice style, they are always the baddies with blonde hair, multicolored hair, straight Remy. The only time I've ever seen these women wear their natural hair is to promote a natural hair care product. Jackie Aina is a little bit better because I think she does tend to wear her natural hair every blue moon just because. But let's be honest, the majority of the time, especially in their birthday shoots, especially when they're, doing photo shoots and they're doing like all of these gala events or just like big scale events where you're supposed to dress up, they're not using their natural hair to dress up. They're using the long silky weave. And a lot of times it's not even a natural hair color. These days, Black women are just wearing all sorts of wigs and weaves that are like red, purple, green, orange, yellow, and blonde. They love a blonde wig. And so it begs the question, like, there is something to be said about the fact that we will fantasize over other races of women's hair and putting it in our head. And we think that's normal. And when anyone has anything to say about this, that maybe it's not a good idea for us to be wearing everybody else's hair on our head, we'll make it seem as if we're being policed. And it's like, no, guys, no one's saying that you can't wear weave. Everybody wears wigs and extensions. But we're not going to pretend that the average white girl wears wigs and weaves and extensions. That's not true. Of a lot of the white girls I know, and I grew up in Georgia, the majority weren't wearing extensions. And if they were, I would never know because they're extensions of their own hair. It's not supposed to be super noticeable. So if they were, and I never knew, then guess what? That's the point. But when Black women, when we wear wigs and weaves, it's like we don't think of it as a costume. We think of it as normal and natural. Y'all will compare $300 lace fronts to each other to see which is the more realistic looking. And I'm like, that's so strange because it's a hair hat. That's not the way your hair looks. It doesn't look natural anyway. It's literally like, you see what I'm saying? They'll be like, lace wear. Ma'am, it is a lace front. We know it's a lace front. Your hair is not 32 inches. Your hair is not even 10 inches. Your real hair is not even that long. And it's not straight. It's kinky curly. You got 4C hair. What are you talking about? Trying to make it look the most natural. It's not natural. Everybody knows it's not your hair. But this is the delusional behavior that Black women are experiencing. And so, I hate the concept of protective styles because the thing is, we are making it seem like Black women's hair has to be protected from a living. Like, as a Black woman, the reason why I'm natural is because I literally just wanted to live my life. I wanted liberation and freedom from having to constantly do my hair, put 3, handfuls of gel into my hair, texlaxing and relaxing. I wanted liberation from all of that. I wanted to embrace my natural fro and the way that it looks. I mean, obviously basic hygiene, taking care of it, moisturizing it and things of that nature. But I don't feel the need to have a certain curl pattern. I don't feel the need to lay down my baby edges because that's against what the natural hair community was supposed to be about. You were supposed to embrace your natural state and think that your beauty was valid as is. I can go outside of my house right now with my hair looking the way that it is, which right now it's short. I cut it a few months ago. Looking the way that it is, and it should be fine because natural hair is beautiful too. But the way y'all talk, it's like natural hair has to be protected from the world. Y'all treat your natural hair like Adonis and you're Drake. Are you hiding the world from your hair or are you hiding the hair from the world? Because it seems more like y'all hiding your hair from the world because you want to, quote unquote, protect it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Were our ancestors out here doing everything to protect their hair from the elements? No. And they still had long hair. But some of the stuff that we tell ourselves about why we do the things that we do just seems like a lot of excuse making. And I know there's going to be someone in the comments that says, well, what about white supremacy? Why do Black women hate their hair so much? Obviously, white supremacy is a role, right? It's probably one of the biggest reasons because we did grow up in a society where everyone promotes long, silky hair. And Black women have the opposite of that. So like, that is true. That is very true. But that doesn't excuse our behavior in 2021. Like, I remember there was a time when it was so hard to find natural hair wigs. Everybody wanted straight wigs, deep wave wigs. Everyone wanted the kinky, like not even the kinky curly, just like the Annie curls. That's the curliest it got. None of it looked like Black women's hair. So from 2012 to 2021, we've made so much progress. Now It is normal to find kinky curly wigs, normal to find kinky curly hair that looks like our head, that we can put in our head as bundles. We can do all sorts of styles with it. We can even have a hair hat and it'd be perfectly cute. The only wig that I have is a kinky curly wig, and people think it's my own hair because it mimics my hair naturally. I don't wear it anymore because I don't really like wigs, but I mean, for the time period, it served its purpose. But I had to come to the acknowledgement that it was weird for me to say the other races were trying to mimic what I naturally had, but then I'm telling the world that I'm embarrassed of what I naturally have. And I don't want to hear anything about how other races of women are trying to be like us because they wear box braids, when that is not a common occurrence. Y'all can't even name 5 white girls that you know in your personal life that have worn box braids because you know it's not that common. But guess what? The majority of my black friends, they love a good lace front and will dye it all sorts of colors. Then, listen, this is not about saying that black women can't do whatever they want. But y'all love to pretend as if the reasons why we do what we do is purely because of convenience and not because of hate. And not because of self-hate, internal hate for who we are and discomfort with what we look like. There's a reason why y'all keep your hair covered up until it gets to bra strap length. Then you want to do this great reveal as if it was always that long. No, it wasn't. You just were embarrassed of your hair length. Either it's hair length or it's hair texture, or in some cases, both. Let's be honest. And if I'm going to get even more specific, and because here's the thing, right? I know some of you are just thinking that I'm talking out my butt on this. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. But no, the bullying I've experienced from black women online has been because of me wearing a bonnet. And I know for a fact that if I had a $400 lace front with some horsehair on my head, y'all would have been like, oh, that's so cute. Where'd you get that from? Girls, send the link. What's the link to the hair? Y'all hated me because I wore a bonnet. I have natural hair and I'm in my house. So if I have not fluffed out my hair, fluffed out my afro, and moisturized it for that day, or even if I have and I'm just not interested in, doing stuff with my hair that day, and I wear a bonnet, y'all get mad at that. And I'm like, y'all all wear bonnets. You all wear scarves. I work from home. I make all my money, good money, from my house. Unless I'm doing virtual meetings and I need to do my hair and have it look a certain way, I'm not doing all that stuff to my hair that day. And that's within my right. But y'all bullied me for God knows how long just for wearing a bonnet. What does it say that y'all care more about black women wearing bonnets in their house than you do y'all wearing ridiculous hair colors and long Remy weave, pretending as if it's natural, bullying other black women because her lace doesn't look good enough, her lace isn't laid enough? Like, y'all are more embarrassed of black women wearing bonnets than black women perming their edges so they can kind of get the swoop they're looking for. Because that's more embarrassing to me. Me wearing a bonnet in my home is not an issue. But black women talking about they want to protect their hair in a protective style and then perming their edges is a problem for me. It's an issue. Don't sit here and lie to people about why you do the things that you do. And when we get picked on by other races, then it's a problem. And then it's all sorts of bullying and anti-blackness. And it's like, honestly, y'all, what if they're just telling the truth, that you really are bald-headed and that you don't like your hair? What if they're telling the truth and that all the stuff that you're saying about how you don't want to take care of your hair and that your hair is such an inconvenience and it's all of these things, what if that's just a lie? Y'all will spend hundreds of dollars on fake hair, but have a hard time spending $50 on natural hair care products. I don't want to hear it. Y'all buy a new wig every month. Some of you constantly buying new stuff to put in your head, constantly dyeing and switching it up and doing all this stuff to the fake hair that you got on. But your real hair, you will complain about spending $10 on a natural hair care product. Explain it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that being natural isn't expensive, because in some ways it is. If you have a lot of hair, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's be clear. We can get into the conversation about how natural hair care products are way more expensive than all these other brands like Dove and Redken and things like that. We can talk about that. Our average deep conditioner for natural hair care products can be like $15 to $20 a bottle or a jar. You know what I'm saying? So like we can talk about how that's unfair and how people are capitalizing off of the natural hair care movement, maybe not with the best of intentions, but that don't change the fact that y'all have no problem spending hundreds of dollars on wigs. And that's assuming you don't pay somebody to install it for you. So very clearly, you're making a choice about what you care about and what you invest your money in. And the majority of you invest way more money and time into fake hair than you do your own head, period. If we look at this in terms of billable hours, think about how many hours you have spent gluing down that lace front. The ridiculous lengths y'all go to glue down lace fronts. My God. Would y'all have a hard time spending 30 minutes on your own hair every day? I'm just saying, those of you who install in your own units every day, spend about at least 20 minutes gluing all the stuff down, gluing the wig cap, then wait, then blow dry, then gluing it down again. And then you take your hair and then glue it down another 5 minutes. And then once that's done, then you got to style the unit. Come on, y'all do this every day. But the concept of you taking 30 minutes out your day to do your hair, oh no, that's too much. That's too much. Just call it what it is. You don't know how to do your own hair and you're embarrassed by it. But the wig is easier. It's soft and silky. It doesn't have a lot of texture or body. And you'll spend how much money on products, dipping and dyeing it and cutting it and slicing it and dicing it and do all this other stuff. And of course, your own hair, you probably can't get baby hairs. But the wig, you can. Let's just call it what it is. Okay? Let's call a thing a thing. And listen, I'm not saying this because I don't think that, Black women are beautiful or that I don't think that we can improve, because I think we can. But I think it starts with being honest with ourselves about how we don't really like ourselves. We don't like ourselves. We don't love ourselves. And I think the natural hair care community has really done us a disservice. The whole point was for us to be liberated from this stuff. But now the only people who claim to love their natural hair are the 3C girls. The only ones who suddenly stopped experiencing hair discrimination are 3C girls. All the people, how do I say this? When I was having a conversation with my friends about this, and my friend kept saying, well, you can get discriminated in the workforce because of having natural hair. And I'm like, okay, why don't I see more 3C girls talking about this? If y'all getting discriminated so much by your hair, because of your hair in the workplace, have you ever experienced that? Has anyone ever told you to change your hair? No? Okay, well, why isn't that there's not more 3C girls doing that? Why aren't they talking more about being discriminated against? If it's that widespread, and that's why every Black woman I see almost always has a wig or weave. Like, okay, more of y'all should be experiencing that then, and it should be more than just 3C girls. No? Because 3C girls have no problem wearing their hair out. So maybe, just maybe, the natural hair care community did not do what it was supposed to do. And instead of y'all putting the creamy crack in your head, the 4C and 4B girls just went ahead and started putting wigs and weaves on. And then started calling it a protective style. I'm just saying, at some point we need to be honest with ourselves. The natural hair community failed y'all because the people who it was intended to be for don't even wear their hair out. People don't even see y'all's hair. Out of 365 days a year, we can only count 10 days the entire year we've ever seen your natural hair. And that was in between appointments. Come on. Are we going to continue lying about this? Like, of course, there's texturism involved, but the language and the way we talk about our hair, the excuses that we make, it's getting really redundant. And it's starting to seem more and more that y'all are not interested in telling the truth. You're just calling everybody else a liar. The only way that we can move forward as Black women and embrace ourselves is if we stop making excuses about what the dominant society will and won't let us do and start making that change now. We have to be the change. We can't wait on men to validate our beauty and our natural hair. Forget that. It's not about men. And I know that's what it is for a lot of y'all. I know that's what it is. I know deep down that y'all know. People won't praise your hair. Men won't date you for your natural hair. You know that you won't get attention. You know if you want to stunt on social media, you're going to wear that wig. You know it. You know you don't get your face beat with the lashes and the nails and all that. You know that you won't get the validation that you're deeply looking for and you're craving when you wear your natural hair. But who cares? Because here are your options. Get the fake validation you're looking for from other Black women while the rest of the world laughs at y'all for looking like clowns because it's not Halloween and you got some hair on that don't look like yours. Or you start to embrace your natural hair and push away all the Black men who hate Black women and hate Blackness and only attract people into your life who truly love you for who you are and appreciate your beauty. Because right now, y'all will never know between the real and the fake until you put that fake hair down and start reaching for your own hair and reaching for hair that even looks like yours. So anyway, I've said everything I need to say basically about this topic, but y'all let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that Black women are being insecure about their hair? Do you? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.